Let's face it, we hear about lightweight technology in the auto industry all the time, but for most car buyers, it doesn't really print. But what lightweight is all about is everything that a vehicle's all about. Better performance, better fuel efficiency, which leads to lower emissions, and better handling dynamics in every direction the vehicle goes.
Committed to this ethic is the coming Ford GT, 600 plus horsepower from a turbo V6 mounted in the middle on an aluminum subframe behind a carbon fiber center tub driving the rear wheels. To be honest, that architecture has been done before. And you can buy a 700 horsepower Dodge Challenger for 60 grand. So what's really going on here? It's how the new GT will seek performance by burdening itself less, lighter weight, and less envelope, the vehicle's physical outline. It's the essential story of this car.
Now, Raj, this is such a big effort. You've got a car with incredible performance, but it's got less weight, less bulk.
Right. Well, performance, now is a lot about efficiency. If you look at our latest F-150, all aluminum body, we took more than 700 pounds out of that vehicle. And all the attributes get better when you take weight out. Improve your fuel efficiency. We can soften up the suspension. The ride gets better. So it all feeds on itself.
Some of the parts we're seeing that you're also displaying here have a lot of carbon reinforced plastics, things that were exotic and used in small volumes. You're seeing this as a high volume technique to make a lot of parts in affordable cars?
Well, we can use performance vehicles to prove out some technologies and then bring it to high volume. Iterate the designs, take those learnings and bring it to high volume mainstream manufacturing.
So what used to be win on Sunday, sell on Monday is now lightweight on Sunday, sell on Monday. Right?
Absolutely. For the engineer, it's win on Sunday and then take that and mainstream on Monday.
How important is it to use carbon fiber versus aluminum?
Carbon fiber is lighter and it's strong. And as a designer, what it does is it gives me greater flexibility to create unique forms that I can't create in steel and aluminium.
So now these flying buttresses are one that you point out. Why couldn't you have made those flying buttresses out of aluminum? We hear that all the time. We couldn't have done that in metal.
Steel or aluminium needs to be pressed. You need to have a die and it's pressed, and you have maximum draw depth, and then you have radiuses which are really restricting based on your maximum depth of draw.
It would tear or be too thin?
It would tear, it would be too thin. I wouldn't get the draw depth between this point and this point in a tool.
One of the first things you notice as you come back like so is this thing gets real narrow real fast. In fact, you can reach across and touch the other glass.
There's three key factors in creating the ultimate performance car. One is lightweight. Second is aerodynamics. It has a really, really tapered cabin. It's really narrow at the cabin. And it allows us also to manage the airflow much better than on a traditional full volume car.
This tapering here helps the wind see less car as it's coming.
Yes.
We would normally think the face is kind of where it all ends.
So a normal car, you would fill out this volume. The
you just have a
the glass would be here, but imagine how much.
That's a foot.
That's, on each side,
That's
which I'm not pushing through the air. We're managing the airflow to direct it straight onto the aero devices like the rear wheel.
Which is interesting. We hear so much about lightweight of products,
but it's also light footprint.
The rage in supercars these days has been hybrid. Porsche's 918, Ferrari's LaFerrari, the McLaren P1. But to stay light and lean, Ford skipped the added motor, big battery, and the inverter that would have meant weight and volume to put somewhere. Less under the skin means less skin to move through the air.
Main reasons we chose this engine is it is compact. It's one of our mainstream engines. Yes, it's got a little bit, few of the components are a little bit more exotic.
Little more.
But the foundations of this car are the same that's in your F-150. And it allows us to shrink wrap all this body around this engine. It also produces high power. Over 600 horsepower from this engine. It's also fuel efficient. If we didn't need the extra 2 cylinders, why do we need to put them on? If they added weight and they added fuel consumption and they added mass, why did we need them?
As I look at it here, I see these buttresses come back and they seem to almost be supporting these pods over the rear wheels.
What's in there is an intercooler. There's a vent here.
There's a grill in the front there.
There's a grill, is an intercooler and radiator. The air feeds through the buttress. So it's not just there.
So that's your bleed off to go into the engine.
Air feeds into the engine.
That's your intake run.
Yes. So we exhaust the air through the middle of the lamps. These engineering ideas created great aesthetic design ideas. It's a beautiful looking thing.
Yeah.
right? But it's also clever and innovative, and that balance between looking amazing but also delivering a clever solution is what this car is all about.
Now, lightweight technologies do have some hurdles. They tend to be exotic in terms of rapid workflow and production. They tend to be more expensive right now, as we've heard about some of the carbon fiber technologies. And let's face it, the auto industry is one that is known for inertia, doing things the way it's done things, although that's changing quite a bit lately.
Still, the GT's wholesale lightweighting approach is a leading-edge look at what is and will increasingly happen to mainstream cars. Lightweighting is no longer optional or limited to cars in the stratosphere like this. It makes every motion a car accomplishes better and does it with less energy. More cars driven CNET style, standing by now at CNETOnCars.com. Click on the road.